Good evening and thank you for joining us on India Business Hour. I'm Parikshit Luthra. Let's begin with the headlines at this hour. US Federal Reserve is all set to hike interest rates to the highest level in more than 2 decades. Later tonight, a CNBC Fed survey shows majority of Wall Street expect the Fed to pause after this rate hike. Stock markets remain on tenterhooks. CNBC-TV18 Newsbreak confirmed Mahindra Group confirms it has acquired a 3.5% stake in RBL Bank for 417 crore rupees. Says it may consider hiking this stake, but under no circumstances will the total holding exceed 9.9%. Axis Bank misses estimates in the first quarter even as asset quality improves. Bajaj Finance reports a decline in net internet margins to below 10%, even as it expects asset quality and return on assets and equity to improve in the long term. Dr. Reddy's and Cipla beat estimates in Q1. DRL reports a 29% rise in revenue. Margins cross 30%. Cipla's revenues rise nearly 18%. R&D investments are a sharp increase of 27%. Tech Mahindra misses estimates on all counts in Q1. Constant currency revenue declines over 4%, profits down 38%. Management calls it a temporary setback. Pratt & Whitney recalls 1,200 engines used in the A320 and A321 neo aircraft. Indigo is likely to be one of the worst affected. Airline says it is working with the engine maker to minimize the impact. After process, another investor slams Byju's Peak 15, formerly called Secure India, says it will significantly mark down the Edtech company's valuation due to lack of visibility on audited financials and its inability to influence Byju's to take corrective measures. Lok Sabha Speaker accepts no confidence motion moved by Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi, but yet to decide when it will be taken up. Lok Sabha passes the Forest Conservation Amendment Bill that seeks to free up unrecorded forests for developmental projects. The centre moves the Supreme Court seeking an extension in ED Chief S.K. Mishra's tenure. The Apex Court had earlier ruled the 2 tenure extensions given to him as illegal. Mishra's term ends on the 31st of July. Heavy rains batter several states across India. Telangana, Goa, coastal regions of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh remain on red alert. CNBC-TV18 travels to Haryana's Ambala, where monsoon fury has brought several small businesses down on its knees. Samsung launches 2 new folding phones that are thinner and lighter than previous models. Also launches a new tablet and 2 new smartphones amid stiff competition from rivals. Straight to the day's trading action, Nifty and Sensex end 0.5% higher, with the Nifty within touching distance of 19,800. Financials and Reliance led the market higher. Nifty Bank snapped its 3-day losing streak to gain in line with the blue chips. And speaking of markets, GIFT Nifty witnessed a record single-day trading activity of more than 3.14 lakh contracts with a turnover of nearly $12.4 billion on the 25th of July. Traded contract volume witnessed a growth of over 840%, while turnover value saw a growth of over 925%. US Federal Reserve is all set to hike interest rates to the highest level in more than 2 decades. Later tonight, a CNBC Fed survey shows majority on Wall Street expect the Fed to pause after this rate hike. CNBC's Steve Leisman is here with more.
They're expected to resume the rate hikes after that 1 meeting pause, bringing the funds rate up to 5.38 and waiting for guidance from the committee and the Fed about whether this is the last hike or more yet to come. Market trade guys this morning with 97% probability of a rate hike, 19% chance of a hike in September, and then a 40% probability the Fed gets back to hiking in November. That's elevated in recent days. The market seems to be taking that second hike a bit more seriously now, and we'll watch that number after the meeting. So let's look at how the data has changed between meetings. Unemployment rate ticking down between meetings. Payroll growth did slow, but it's still strong at 209,000. The CPI, that's the big change, 4% to 3%. So why hike? Well, in part because the economy is not weakening. There's our first half estimate using the actual number and the CNBC estimate for first half growth, it's gone up by 0.5 point. Second half also up by 0.8 percentage points. What's happened to the just completed second quarter forecast is instructive here from the CNBC Fed survey. We'll get the real number tomorrow. It was going to be the beginning of a predicted recession. Not anymore. Look at what's happened. We started off in November with the Fed survey showing it was going to be minus almost 1%. And now the prediction is 1.7%. The Dow Jones prediction is 2% for tomorrow. So you're just not getting the weakening that was forecast. We keep predicting the economy and the job market will weaken, but the data keep defying those predictions. That's why what's going to happen is Powell and the FOMC are going to hike today and keep that possibility very much alive that the Fed is not done yet.
And CNBC-TV18 will bring you live coverage of the Fed decision and Jerome Powell's press conference. Tune in at 11 p.m. for all the latest updates from Washington to Wall Street. A CNBC-TV18 news break has been confirmed. Mahindra Group has confirmed that the company has acquired a 3.5% stake in RBL Bank for 417 crore rupees. The shares were bought in open market. CNBC-TV18's Nisha Podar had reported earlier today that Mahindra Group is likely to have bought a small stake in the bank. In a filing, the company has clarified that it may consider raising stake in the private lender, but it will not exceed 10%. Currently, RBL rules mandate that no corporate can hold more than 10% stake in a private bank. In earnings space, Tech Mahindra missed estimates in the first quarter. Profits were down 38% and revenue declined by more than 4%. Company CEO C.P. Gurnani said this quarter was challenging and revenue growth faced strong headwinds. Gurnani also added that the company will overcome this temporary setback.
Some of the challenges are temporary. We will bounce back over the next few quarters. This quarter probably is one of the toughest quarters I have seen in the last 5 years, but we believe that we will be able to bring back a growth trajectory over the next few years. We have a great service offering. We have a great team. We have a robust pipeline of opportunities across all geographies, verticals, and service lines.
And private lender Axis Bank reported strong numbers in the first quarter despite missing street expectations. The bank's net profit rose 40% year-on-year, while net interest income jumped 27%. Asset quality was a mixed bag. Gross NPA improved sequentially, while net NPA marginally declined. Shares of Bajaj Finance declined in trade after the company reported first quarter earnings. Net interest income saw a growth of more than 27%, but this was slightly below estimates. Net interest margins also declined to below 10%. Profits beat estimates with a 32% growth. Bad loans remain below 1%, and new loan growth has hit a record high. Punjab National Bank reported strong set of first quarter numbers. Net interest income was up 26% to cross 9,500 crore rupees. The bank also reported a sharp improvement in asset quality. Gross NPAs are down below 8%, slippages are down 40%, and the slippage ratio is the lowest in 10 quarters. Two top pharma companies have beaten estimates in quarter one. Dr. Reddy's and Cipla have reported strong growth. Ekta Batra is here with all the highlights.
Thanks for that. Yes, well, both of these companies, Dr. Reddy's as well as Cipla, have reported better than expected numbers for Q1 of FY24. I'll start with Dr. Reddy's. Dr. Reddy's net profit has come in at around 1,400 odd crores, which is better than expectations. The revenue has risen to around 6,700 crores plus, which is also better than expectations. And margins have come in at around 31%. The street was working with around 25%. Now, one of the key drivers for Dr. Reddy's this quarter is definitely the North American business. They have benefited from selling the generic version of the cancer drug Revlimid generic in two strengths, and that's what's really aided them. The North America business is up 79% on a year-on-year basis. Europe is up 22%, and emerging markets has grown as well, whereas India has declined both Q-on-Q as well as on a year-on-year basis for Dr. Reddy's. So the key growth driver definitely has been the North American business. Now coming to Cipla, it has been a top-down beat for Cipla as well. Revenue up around 17% on a year-on-year basis. EBITDA margins have improved all the way to 23.6% versus estimates growth of around 22 to 23 odd %, and a profit of close to around 1,000 odd crores. The street was working with around 836 odd crores. India has grown close to 12% in what was a sluggish market, according to the company this quarter. North America, again aided by Revlimid generic, has reported a growth of around 52% on a year-on-year basis. $222 million is what they've reported in North America versus estimates of on the upper end of around $218 million. So both of the companies have definitely reported a good set of numbers, but whether or not these are sustainable going forward in terms of the US business, considering that they have been aided by one-off opportunities, will be something that the street will watch out for.
Pratt & Whitney has recalled 1,200 engines which were used in the A320 and A321 Neo aircraft. Indigo is likely to be one of the worst affected, and the airline says it is working with the engine maker to minimize the impact. Madhiya Mujawar is here with all the details.
Well, this is not the first time that Pratt & Whitney is facing issues with engines used in A320 Neo planes. It is the same engine that has led to the grounding of several planes of Indigo and Go First. The latest decision to recall engines has come after Pratt & Whitney detected a rare condition in the powder metal used in certain parts of the engine, PW1100G, made between 2015 and 2021. The engine maker said that the condition, if not rectified, may reduce the life of those engines. Now, this decision impacts Airbus's narrow-body planes, which is A320 Neo and A321 Neo planes. And to fix the problem, Pratt & Whitney is recalling 1,200 engines in a phased manner. So 200 engines will be removed by mid-September and 1,000 over the next 9 to 12 months. This could mean about 600 planes could be impacted worldwide. Now, we know that Indigo is the largest customer globally of Airbus A320 Neo planes powered by Pratt & Whitney engines. It currently has 141 A320 Neo planes and 76 A321 Neo planes. While Indigo has not provided any number on its impact, the airline said it is working closely with Pratt & Whitney to assess and minimize any potential impact to its fleet.
All right, thanks very much, Madhiya Mujawar, for explaining us this problem so well. Let's move on to the other big story we are tracking. In a relief for Go First and setback for lessors, the National Company Law Tribunal has allowed Go First to use leased planes for commercial use. This comes as another decision in the airline's favour after the DGC approved its resumption plan. The tribunal, in its order, said it found no sufficient cause to rely on the affirmations made by the lessors. The order said lessors are not within their rights to claim possession of aircraft or engines during the moratorium period. From Go First to Jet Airways, the Jalan Kalrock Consortium has appointed Jatinder Pal Singh Dhillon as the accountable manager for the grounded airline. This is the first appointment made to a senior post, months after all senior executives had resigned back-to-back. The appointment comes even as Jalan Kalrock Consortium awaits ownership transfer of the airline. In fact, early this month, lenders asked the Supreme Court to allow liquidation of the airline as the consortium failed to make any payments. And there's more trouble for Edtech unicorn Byju after Process. Peak 15 has come out with its reasons for exiting the company's board. The firm cited a lack of internal controls and lack of transparency in providing business updates as the key reasons. That's not all. Peak 15 also said that it expected to see a huge valuation markdown for the startup soon. Aishwarya Anand is here with the details.
That's right. After Process, now Peak 15, formerly Sequoia Capital India, sent out a note to its LPs saying it is paring down the value of stake in Edtech major Byju. In the letter, the VC firm said that it is marking down its investment in the company over lack of visibility into its audited financials. Peak 15, however, did not divulge any details on the value of the holdings that it is likely to cut. The venture capital fund said it is consulting advisors and will mark down its investment in the coming reporting cycle. Peak 15, which is the second largest institutional investor in Byju, also told its LPs that the reason it exited Byju's board was due to the firm's lack of transparency in providing business updates and information to its investors. This follows a day after Dutch investor Process, in a public statement, said that its representative exited the Edtech firm's board due to poor corporate governance. Echoing Process's statement, Peak 15 further added that Byju's management was unwilling to adhere to the advice provided by Peak 15's representative on the board. Now remember, Process also this year slashed its valuation of Byju's to $5.1 billion from $22 billion last year. Process and Peak 15's claims comes at a time when the country's most valued unicorn is under pressure to improve its reporting and corporate governance standards after the resignation of its auditor and the exit of its investors from the board in June.
Flipkart-owned Mahindra will be laying off 50 employees as part of what it calls an internal restructuring. The firm said that roles across verticals would be impacted and staff within the in-house brand will be most affected. The changes, which are a part of a new strategy at Mahindra, aim to focus on a few private labels instead of scaling its in-house brands in the apparel space. It's time for a short break here, but up next, heavy rains affect large parts of North India, leading to huge losses. A ground report on the impact it had on small businesses in Haryana's Ambala on the other side. The top national story today, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla has accepted a no-confidence motion moved by Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi against the government. This after 50 opposition lawmakers backed it. The opposition believes that this move will finally compel Prime Minister Modi to address the Manipur ethnic clashes on the floor of the House. The Speaker, however, has not announced when the motion will be taken up. Bharat Raksha Samiti MP Nageshwar Rao had also moved a no-confidence motion. The BJP government is comfortably paced to prove its majority in the House. Meanwhile, Manipur still grapples with fresh violence breaking out in Moreh district. A group of miscreants set several abandoned houses on fire. This after 2 buses belonging to security forces were set on fire by a mob in Kangpokpi district.
हम बार-बार प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी को कहना चाहते हैं कि सदन के बाहर नहीं, सदन के अंदर आकर देश को संबोधित करें, क्योंकि ये बात सिर्फ अब मणिपुर की नहीं रह गई है, ये बात दूसरे प्रदेशों में फैल रही है। राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा और देश की अखंडता के हित में प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी को सदन के अंदर आकर अब देश को संबोधित करना चाहिए।
And staying with the Parliament, the Lok Sabha has passed the Forest Conservation Amendment Bill. The new bill seeks to redefine the classification of forests and free up unrecorded forests for developmental projects. The bill also seeks to exempt unrecorded forest land within 100 kilometers of international borders from the purview of Conservation Bill to build projects of national importance and concerning national security. The centre has moved the Supreme Court seeking an extension in Enforcement Directorate Chief S.K. Mishra's tenure. The Apex Court had earlier ruled the 2 tenure extensions given to him as illegal. Mishra's term ends on the 31st of July. Heavy rains batter several states across India, Telangana, Goa, coastal regions of Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Remain on red alert many areas around Hindon River in the Delhi NCR. We have seen many areas submerging due to rise in water levels. CNBC-TV18 visited one of the affected villages where around 350 cars were submerged in floodwaters. CNBC-TV18 has learned that these cars belonged to Ola, which had leased the land for parking. Ola has not responded to CNBC-TV18 queries.
This spell of very heavy rainfall is likely to continue in the western Himalayan region, which is Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand for the next 2 days, 2 to 3 days, in fact, and for which we have issued an orange alert. Simultaneously, also today we are expecting very heavy rainfall that is up to 20 centimeters over North Haryana and West Uttar Pradesh.
As floods affect large parts of North India, affected citizens are trying to salvage losses to their homes and businesses, even as governments look at compensating people for loss of lives and property. Small businesses are seeking SOPs to rebuild. Here's a report on concerns of small businesses in Haryana's Ambala.
Located between the floodplains of the Ghaggar and Yamuna rivers, Ambala in Haryana has borne the brunt of the recent floods. Not just farmlands, local businesses have also been hit. Inundated roads like these have disrupted supply chains, leading to rotting of fruits and vegetables and damage to goods. Even retail markets of durable goods could not escape the impact.
ये हमारे अम्बाला म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन की कमी है कि जो ड्रेनेज है वो क्लियर नहीं हो पाई। लोगों का करोड़ों रुपए का नुकसान हुआ इस फ्लड के अंदर। लोगों के माइंड में है कि सारा कपड़ा भीग गया फ्री मिलेगा। दुकानदार का कितना नुकसान हुआ है ये दुकानदार का दिन ही जानता है। अगर ये 2 घंटे और बारिश आएगी तो फिर डूबेगा हमारा।
बाहर से जो कस्टमर आता है पहले मतलब यही पूछता है कि यहाँ पानी तो नहीं आया। हिमाचल में भी आ गया, पंजाब में भी आ गया, यहाँ भी आ गया, सभी जगह कस्टमर मतलब बहुत कम हो गया उस हिसाब से ना। दिल्ली के हमारे जो एक्सपेंसेस हैं या मंथली में एक्सपेंसेस है वो तो बढ़ ही रहे हैं।
यहाँ पे हमारे पास 30, 40, 50 किलोमीटर 100 किलोमीटर से कस्टमर आता है। जो यहाँ पे आसपास फ्लड आने से सारा कस्टमर अब इस मार्केट में नहीं आ रहा। कस्टमर का फुटफॉल बहुत कम हो चुका है। अभी भी जैसे लाइट की मतलब आ रही है जा रही है, पानी की शॉर्टेज चल रही है।
State of Haryana, according to government estimates, has suffered losses of over rupees 500 crores due to rains. Heavy rains and flooding in parts of Delhi NCR has disrupted movement of trucks, leading to a spike in prices of vegetables. This is the Monastery Market on Delhi's Ring Road, usually thronged by students from the Delhi University.
सारा बिक गया, पूरा इतना सा बचा हुआ है। 80% का तो खराब ही हो ही गया, सामान नुकसान हो गया। लाखों तो छोड़ो, करोड़ों के आसपास होगा। सरकार से तो थोड़ा कॉम्पेंसेशन थोड़ा मिल जाता तो बहुत अच्छा होता। परसों से खोलने की कोशिश किया पर फिर बोलता है बाहर आएगा, 9 लाख छोड़ा है, 10 लाख छोड़ा है, ऐसे अफवाह फैला रहा है। फिर लोग डर से है ना, कुछ मार्केट लगा ही नहीं रहा।
दोबारा बोला गया था कि दोबारा पानी आएगा, मगर वो आया नहीं अभी, तो इसलिए दोबारा खोल रहे हैं। 2-3 बार तो दुकान हटा के परेशान हो गए हम।
पानी इसके इतने ऊपर तक आया था पानी। हालांकि ये पहली बार हुआ है। हम 2013 में भी थे, बट 2013 में यहाँ तक ऐसा कोई हाल नहीं था बुरा। उस टाइम अलर्ट भी कर दिया था, इस बार अलर्ट नहीं करा हमारे को।
पूरा माल ख़राब हो चुका है, कितना फेंक रहे हैं और कितना बुरा हो रहा है। अभी तक कोई मतलब दिल्ली सरकार कोई भी एजेंसी से कोई हेल्प नहीं है। पूरी मार्केट चाहेगी कि बिल्कुल मिले, कोई ना कोई तो हेल्प मिले ना उनकी तरफ से। पहली बार में तब पानी आया है, कोई डिपार्टमेंट कोई भी कोई करने हमें यहाँ बोलने नहीं आया कि इतना पानी आएगा, आप अपना बचा लो, कि करोड़ों का नुकसान हो गया। पूरी सफाई करवाई है, बाहर फिर कूड़ा फेंका है यहाँ से, पूरा अंदर तक है। अभी तक तो टैली कर ही नहीं पा रहे, धीरे धीरे पूरा माल निकाल रहे हैं सर। पहले क्यों नहीं ये आए, कहाँ थे, सो रहे थे क्या ये सब के सब?
The unprecedented rains have brought heavy losses in several states. Himachal Pradesh has seen 108 deaths and monetary losses close to rupees 4,000 crores. While the hopes for a compensation from the government seem bleak for small business owners, they do hope for better flood warning systems and infrastructure to deal with situations of unprecedented rainfall and climate change. In Delhi with video journalist Akhilesh Singh, this is Abhimanyu Sharma for CNBC-TV18.
Samsung has launched 2 new folding phones that are thinner and lighter than previous models. These launches come at a time when the company is facing stiff competition from the likes of Motorola, Oppo, among others. Samsung also launched a new tablet and 2 new smartwatches. Ashwat Kumar travelled to Seoul at the company's invitation to find out more about the new launches.
Samsung Galaxy.
Well, I'm coming to you from Seoul, South Korea, from Samsung's flagship event called Samsung Unpacked. Unpacked because they're unpacking 5 flagship products which they feel will bring the heat to the competition. Number 1, the Samsung Flip 5. The company says there are 3 key factors that make it stand apart. Number 1 is the fact that it flips, hence the name. Number 2, it's quite pocketable. You can slip it inside your pocket, and that's what is the big selling point as per the company. And number 3 is this big screen here, which makes it even more accessible. Number 2, the Samsung Galaxy Fold 5. The company says that this is the most immersive screen experience because it turns into such a large screen here. What the company also says is that it is much lighter, has a dynamic gaming experience and a much stronger camera. Number 3 and number 4, the Samsung Watch 6 and the Samsung Watch 6 Classic. What Samsung says that sets it apart is that it of course has the conventional host of amenities such as providing your heart rate, your sleeping patterns. And finally, number 5, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 series. It comes in 3 sizes, that's 11, 12.4 as well as 14.6 inches. Samsung's pitch is threefold. Number 1, it has a strong display. Number 2, you can hook it to your other devices. And number 3, and they're not kidding about this, it is water and dust resistant.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Business Hour. But before we leave the new Pragati Maidan complex, this is the India Trade Promotion Organization complex in Delhi, which has been inaugurated today. This is the new G20 venue. Prime Minister Modi inaugurated it along with other cabinet ministers, including Piyush Goyal, Rajnath Singh, and actor Amir Khan. They were all in attendance. We leave you with these pictures from the venue. Thanks for watching.
This is going to serve as the venue for the G20 leaders meet on the 9th and 10th of September. This is India's largest destination for meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions spanning across 123 acres. The integrated exhibition cum convention center is among the largest in the world and has a capacity to hold up to 7,000 individuals.
आज जब हम आजादी के 75 वर्ष होने पर अमृत महोत्सव मना रहे हैं, तो ये भारत मंडपम हम भारतीयों द्वारा अपने लोकतंत्र को दिया एक खूबसूरत उपहार है।